Imagine all your audio entertainment available in just one place. That's what the Audible app is all about. With Audible, you can always find the best of what you love or discover something new. Audible has an incredible selection of wellness titles and originals, like The Light Podcast by Michelle Obama, Work It Out by Mel Robbins, and Confidence Gap by Russ Harris. Membership includes access to Audible originals, podcasts, and tons of audiobooks that you can download or stream as much as you want. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title per month from an ever-growing catalog of titles to keep. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, doing chores, wherever your day takes you. New members can try Audible now free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/motivation or text motivation to 500-500. That's audible.com/motivation or text motivation to 500-500 to try Audible free for 30 days.
The weather is cooling down a bit. The leaves are starting to fall. Yes, it's that time of year again. Football season. And we all know the best part of any game day traditions are the ones that involve food. There's nothing like having everyone in your game day crew coming together to bring their best bites and argue over whose family makes the best chili. And while there's no need to mess with the perfection of game day classics, like a freshly grilled Oscar Mayer hot dog topped with Heinz ketchup and mustard, it's always fun to step out of your comfort zone and get creative with your recipes. Because there's nothing more fun than adding to your list of game day traditions, like making a creamy and delectable queso dip with Velveeta cheese that can be eaten with so much more than just chips. Now is the chance for people across the nation to find out whose game day eats reign supreme. It's your turn to show off your tasty game day food traditions. Go to www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to share a photo of your game day food tradition to enter to win $10,000. Once again, that's www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to enter to win $10,000.
This is Full Change with Tom Laidlaw.
And we're rolling in English.
Oh, that's right. We are rolling in English.
What is that? Whoa, what's that? That's some kind of Norwegian? Some kind of,
Yeah.
it sounds like a Norwegian farmer having a stroke.
We got a new segment to the show. This show is always developing.
Yeah.
Evolving.
Oh, just like you and me.
Right.
We're just always moving.
Actually, we're going to have like half an hour of different accents. We figure out what they are.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's what, yeah. I'll do an accent and then you'll figure out what it is.
Oh, well, geez, I do Martian. All right. So anyway, so we're going to have a good show today, but I wanted to, a listener, Christine Smith of New Jersey, suggested
talented Christine Smith.
She said, because I have this bad habit, and you called me a week ago, so I just started riffing on these dad jokes. I have a habit of every time we go to eat somewhere, I just go right to the dad jokes. And my kids hate it. My wife hates it. I love it. Yeah. And sometimes getting people to laugh is cool. So
isn't that part of the fun of the bad dad jokes? Is that nobody else wants you to do it. You just keep on power through it. Right?
Yeah. She always like, please, I forgive him. Please apologize. I forgive me. I'm sorry. But let's just break in some. I'll see if I can get you to laugh at some of these dad jokes. Now, I didn't write many of these, but I'm still going to read them anyway, okay?
Let's go.
All right. So, I seem to only get sick on weekdays. I must have a weekend immune system.
That's good. Okay. All right. How about I watched the video. The guy said, I think it's Bangladesh is going to have a mission to the sun. And the U.S. said, well, you can't go to the sun. You'll get burned up. And the Bangladesh people came back and said, well, we're only going to go at night.
Okay. Not bad. I don't know if you noticed, but I have a serious fear of elevators, but I'm taking steps to avoid it.
There you go. I like it. We've got a lot of people around here are infatuated with owls.
Who? What do you... That's a good one. Actually, you texted me that.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of people wouldn't come back with who.
No, I think yeah. Right. What do you call a Frenchman wearing sandals? Flip flop. That's so bad.
What do you call? These are kind of bad. What do you call the guy in the pool with no arms and no legs?
I don't know. Bob. I just found out that I'm colorblind. That news came out of the purple.
Oh, okay. All right. I like the one. I have to stop.
That is not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
What time was it when the elephant sat your fence?
To get a new fence.
There you go. I told you all these are.
No, I think I've heard some, but they're still good. My father is notorious for it, but his usually have like a sexual component to it. When he calls me, he tells me these terrible jokes, but he's got such a long delivery. But let's get to it, man. All right, let's see. My wife Christine asked me the other day where I got so much candy from. I said, I always have a few Twix up my sleeve.
That was weak. That was what, yeah. Well, this isn't a joke, but we talked about Costco before. Costco seems like a place where dads can always like try to embarrass their kids, right?
100%.
So I used to take my kids in there. They're smaller, Shane and Cody. And we were the people that if I saw them doing the stuff that we did back then, I'd be like, oh, those people are disgusting. Like Cody would get one of those office chairs and he'd go around the store in the office chair a little bit. I'd let him do
That's
it.
fun. I like. You're not hurting anybody.
So I would jump in the cooler. The coolers have the glass door. So I would get inside the cooler and I pretend that I was locked in, banging on the glass door.
This big white pink Hulk guy banging on the door in Costco.
And I'd be doing like the whole face and everything, and the people are looking at me. What?
Get him out. Tom, I do this with you, but I hate my job. All I do is crush cans all day. It's so depressing.
That's okay. What was the person? What was the woman's name that went to the beach?
I don't know.
Sandy.
Oh boy, delivery is good though. Dry delivery is definitely part of the dad jokes. You have to do that.
Yeah, totally.
My hotel tried to charge me $10 extra for air conditioning. It just wasn't cool.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. What was the guy's name with no arms, no legs at the front door?
Matt.
Matt.
Oh boy, that's rough. We're into sports, obviously. I'm trying to start a hide and seek team, but all the good players are hard to find. That's a good one.
Well, maybe that's why I'll wake up in the middle of the night and start laughing.
All right.
What was the guy's name with no arms and no legs who was leaning against the wall?
Oh, that's easy. Lee, right?
Or
Eileen? Oh, God, that's so bad. No, the woman with no arms and no legs is Eileen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Or no, with one leg.
Yeah, I know one leg is it. Yes. Yeah.
I used to run a dating service for chickens. I was struggling to make hens meet. It's so bad.
No, they are. I mean, that's the whole point of the bad dad jokes, right?
So I hopefully we haven't lost everybody now with the dad jokes. But so you'd be a big goofball with your kids, I can imagine.
Oh, totally, yeah. No, and they're pretty good at it now too. Like we give it like I thought before 32 and 30, Shane and Cody. And so we get together. It's a lot of fun. Like, it's just how it happened, right? It's like overnight, all of a sudden they became men.
Right.
And we're together. It's just zinging each other all the time. So they're pretty good at it.
My kids, well, my son, who's 8, he thinks I'm the greatest, so anything I say is super funny. But my girls are like, oh, come on. They're teenagers, like, stop. These jokes are embarrassing.
But so my oldest one's married, the younger one's got a girlfriend. Those poor girls, because when we're over like Thanksgiving dinner, it turns into a fart fest too. It's just, the girls have got fantastic sense.
Wait, you're just ripping in front of their wives and girlfriends. Really?
Usually, like,
what a dirtbag.
What do you think about men farts?
I don't know if farts equal funny. Howard Stern.
Oh, that's what he said?
Oh, well, God, yeah.
My Cody, when he was younger, I guess which is true. They say fecal matter actually comes out your butt. So if I would have parked around his food.
No. What is wrong with you?
Oh, God, it was hilarious.
One thing, you can't fart at the dinner table. That's just not.
Oh, no, that's even better. How about farting in church? You ever farted in church?
I've been to church a while, but I'm sure
off the wooden benches there.
Oh my God, let's slide.
Because you just think, you're going to squeak one out, and it starts rattling off the wooden bench.
They'll say that's God probably telling you that's not cool to fart in his church, maybe.
I saw George Carlin did a skit on God. He said, let's get this straight. Here's what religion has taught us. Up in the sky, there's an invisible man.
Right.
And he watches everything all day long. And he's, by the way, comes to, right? He watches everything all day long. And he's got these 10 things that he doesn't want you to do. But if you do any of these 10 things, he's going to send you to this place where there's fire. Yep. You're going to live to the end of time. They're burning up and pain and all this kind of stuff. But he loves you.
Yeah. And then he says he's an absentee landlord.
Yeah.
That he's great. He also says people should worship the sun because if that goes out, we're all done for.
Yeah. He's funny.
That George Carlin was incredible. And even if you go back and see his stuff now, his writing was incredible. It was spot on. He predicted things now that are happening. That's like he said it's a big club, Democrats, Republicans, and none of us are in it.
He's right. Bill Burr's got to be a decent friend. That's not like we're best buddies. I think he's hilarious. He did a skit on marriage. He said, okay, let me get this straight. 50% of marriages end in divorce. He said, what would you do if you were told that 50% of the planes going up in the air were crash? Would you get on?
Never fly.
So people are still doing it. They still get married.
Well, listen, you married twice.
Yeah.
I married once, still going.
Right.
But he did this great rant. He was in Philadelphia at some festival. And they were ripping on, Philly fans can be ruthless, as you know.
Yep.
And they were ripping on some some comic book done before. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Dom Herrera, who'd been around forever. And Bill Burgess went up and just did this epic rant. It was, and if people look it up if they haven't heard it, it's great. You can find it on YouTube. He just starts berating them, and I remember him saying that he just went after the sports teams, and he just started going on the Phillies, the Flyers, the Eagles, and the food, and it was just awesome. And he's I know you guys are friendly. He's a great comedian.
He was in here in Portchester, New York, at the Palace, I think it's called, old building that they kind of redid. So, his humor is pretty crude too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So he starts into this routine, and all of a sudden he realizes there's two little kids sitting up front. The parents couldn't find babysitters.
No.
So he now starts to ad lib, and now he'd go hide behind the curtains and do his stuff. It was hilarious because you could tell he knows he has to do his routine, but he's a good man. He doesn't want to say all this stuff.
Yes.
So he went ahead and did his routine. The parents were laughing. He actually interviewed them. And he said, "Are you okay with this? Like, you understand my humor?" And at the end, he was great. He had the whole family up on stage.
No, he's very cool guy. I mean, Renaissance guy. He's a drummer. They're a pretty good drummer now. And apparently he's like a helicopter pilot.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Really, really intelligent guy. We were backstage with him. It's a funny story. We did, they had the Garden of Dreams had a Garden of Laughs. Okay. So people like Bill Burr would come in, donate his time, and do a comedy skit to raise money to go for the Garden of Dreams.
Sure.
So as a gift that to him, they gave him a couple hours ice time at Madison Square Garden at the middle of the day.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they invited myself, Brian Mullen. I think he wanted me there because I played with Jay Miller. He's a big Jay Miller fan. I played with Jay in L.A.
Boston guy, right?
Yeah.
Miller? Yeah.
So when typically you play those games, Bill Burr wasn't a great skier. Most people leave him alone, let him carry the puck and all that kind of stuff.
Did you run him?
Yeah, knocked him on his ass.
Oh, nice.
Well, we were going out in the locker room for the game, and everybody else was like, "What are you doing?" He was dying laughing. I can see his face.
Was he chirping you? Hey, Laidlaw.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Dumb head. Like, what was he saying to you?
And ever since I did that, he just he'll call me with shows and stuff. It's funny. He him backstage, but really like an intelligent, it's his profession. So he isn't just this goofball that's up there talking. He really knows.
No, there are no dumb comedians. Yeah. It takes so much work and so much creativity to write good jokes that land. He's one of the best ones that are out there.
You'll probably want us to come after this show that we did.
I think after the dad jokes, we're gonna get scouted. I think scouts are listening. But today we have a great episode. We're gonna have one of your former clients who was also a very funny guy, and he forged a great career as a tough guy. And
Warren Rychel, one of my first clients, my favorite clients.
He was your first client?
One of my first. I had another teammate. I think his teammate is Brad Berry. And then Brad introduced me to Warren. Warren really, I helped his career, but he really helped my career.
Yeah,
as well.
You guys helped each other.
Yeah, like the style of player he was. I remember him playing. He played L.A., Anaheim, Colorado, won a cup there.
Yeah.
Just all hard. Yeah. I would definitely say at least a couple times.
It's going to be a great episode. People sit back, enjoy this ride with Warren Rychel.
Or let's see, you make this. Oh, boy.
So we have another great guest today, and shockingly, we have Stanley Cup champion. Shockingly, we have a former client of yours who did not fire you somehow. Today we have Warren Rychel on the show.
Bundy, what's happening, big man?
How you doing, Tom? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. You look healthy as usual, and a lot of good memories, man. A lot of good hours.
So Bundy comes from, they shaved you, right? And you look like King Kong Bundy. Is that when you got initiated?
Yeah, I think it was back in my first year pro in Saginaw. Billy, it was Jim Playfair, basically. And at the time, King Kong Bundy was a big wrestler.
Right.
They shaved my head, and there was a resemblance there. So it just King Kong Bundy, that Bundy just stuck over the years. So
yeah, everybody calls him.
What's that, 25 years ago?
So everybody knows Bundy is one of my favorite people. I just got started in the age business. I just retired from the Kings. And how do we meet? I was representing Brad Berry, right? And your buddies with him?
It was Brad Berry, and I was in Kalamazoo, and I was playing very good in the minors, and it was different than now. We can probably talk about that later, but it's different when you're in the minors. Then you didn't really get a chance or called up. You'd have a party. Now there's a whole bunch of revolving roster, but that summer, just before that summer, Brad Berry told me all about you, and I said probably needed a change, and we met. You were in Detroit at the time,
yeah.
And then we met in Windsor for lunch, and that was the end of it. And, devised a plan that summer, and thank God I did. I mean, I'm not gonna get teary-eyed over it, but it was pretty good that we met, man. It helped my career and kicked it off. And
well, and I remember the reason I'm so proud of Bundy and our relationship is I had to say to him, man, it's like one of the worst jobs in the National Hockey League, especially at that time, was being a tough guy, having to fight everybody. And I said, Bundy, the Kings don't have a tough guy. I think Marty had moved on at that point. So I knew the Kings organization well. And I said, listen, I get you a tryout with the Kings, but I hate to say this to you because it's the worst job in the league, but you've got to fight everybody that moves. He fought everybody that moved. Shorty was there because you fought him at training camp, didn't you?
Yeah, Marty was there, and it was on Lake Arrowhead, but then he left after. Then it got difficult because he was the super heavyweight sort of guy, and then I was by myself. But yeah, I went in there, and I remember you got me in there, and first of all, do you remember you signed me with San Diego? It was Don Waddell, and at the time, I think you got me $90,000 in the IHL in 1990. Like, it was probably the best contract in the league. But I was just coming off 30 goals, 300 minutes. And I was wondering if I was ever going to get a chance.
Right.
I think I'm the last guy in pro hockey history to do that. And
yeah,
I owed my dad $4,000. I remember going to LA Kings training camp. And
is that right, Ed? Wow.
Yeah, made the team, and there was some good shit. What a year! But it was,
You get 314 PIMs that first year.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the playing with Wayne in the playoffs and going to the finals, losing obviously no good, but so many life lessons. And going back to what you said, that summer we made a plan, and it was good. It worked out good after 5 years in the minors.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm proud of the work I did, but Bundy had to be one. He had to be the one to go and do it, and fight everybody. And again, that's like I say this as a compliment. He wasn't the biggest guy either, and he's taken on all the heavyweights, like he said with Marty McSorley and all Bob Probert and all those guys. It was Bundy's heart that got him and kept him in the National Hockey League.
That's awesome. I'm just shocked that you actually had a plan, because this is a surprise to me that you came up with something.
Yeah, it was have Bundy go out and fight everybody. That was the plan.
Yeah, it was different. You tell some of the kids the stories now. You say your kid now one time in 1993 in Vancouver, this happened. These kids, young guys in the league, it's way different now, right?
Yeah,
they don't understand. They have no clue what it was all about. You know what I mean? Like, now they just talk to guys at face-offs. They meet under the stands before the game. Like, there was none of that.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, it was Wild Kingdom. Like, it was on, and guys were fighting for money, and it was different. Now it's way different.
Yeah. And you can't, I'm sure the same way, you can't blame the kids. It's just the game has changed so much, right? Like the fighting and the Bundy, that was a tactic. That was a strategy. Now it's kind of like they do it, but they got shields on and everything. And again, it's not the kids' fault. They're still great kids. They're still working hard and everything, but it's just a whole different.
But it's changed now. There's so much crossover, especially with good kids who are younger. They're playing on so many teams together. They know each other. Festivals. They're.
But right, that's a good point. But even if we knew somebody, like Bundy knew lots of guys and he'd fight all the time.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy Carson got traded, the Gretzky trade, and we played against Edmonton in the playoff series one year. And he was playing well, so I took him on boards and gave him the forearm shiver and knocked him out cold. But he was a buddy of mine, and I'm sure Bundy will have plenty of stories of guys that he fought.
Yeah, who are some of your rivals there, Warren?
Well, mainly I was in the Western Conference. I didn't play too much. I mean, I think Jeff Odgers 5 times. Murray Barron a couple times. There's so many guys. There were so many active guys at the time. Todd Ewan, a lot of different guys across the league. But yeah, I was like Todd. I was on notice. I was playing every game like it was the Last Supper. I was not going to go down to the minors again. Yeah. I mean that from my heart. I'm not thinking that.
That's true. And Joe too. That's why teams wanted him. Wanted him on the team more. It wasn't just the fighting. Yeah, it wasn't just the fighting toughness. They wanted that attitude, right?
Yeah, and then you know what? I got to playoffs that year, and it worked out well. I got a chance to play with Wayne. I was the leading rookie scorer in the NHL, and then gave you full negotiations to. We jumped quite a bit in salary that summer.
Yeah, but maybe you're getting married that summer too, and you.
Yeah, and I go. But remember how they slow played it though? Like I was like, "Are you serious? Like, come on, guys!" Like,
so it was like,
I think it was like this time in August. I set up my dad's backyard, and it was 600 times 3 years, I think.
Yep, that's what it was.
And I go, I'll never have to work again. Meanwhile, I got 2 jobs now. No, I'm just saying.
That's what divorce was for, right?
Oh, God bless that. Yeah, everything. Yeah,
that's what everybody's always saying. Like, Tommy, man, you're not making the money. You didn't make the money the guys are making now. I said, listen, I got divorced twice. So the first wife we got half of it. The second wife get half of the other half. So that's
no,
fun.
I know it's fucking hard, man.
Oh, I know.
You said your mice are starving in your house. They're so hungry.
Remember, you got married. I told Tom a story too, where you had not signed yet. As we got married, you got up making a speech, and I was there at the wedding. You were thanking me, like Tom Laidlaw played such a big role in my life. Before I didn't know where I was going, and then you stopped for a second, and go, and now I still don't know where I'm going. So
yeah, I was a free agent.
Yeah.
It was almost like there was like a unwritten rule. You can't touch other guys' free agents less than under 25. It was corrupt, right? So, but it worked out good. I went back there, and my son Kirby was born in LA the next year. He's great, and
he's still where's he playing now?
Hockey fans know him from. He's done now. He's 28. Had some injuries, had some trouble, little development issues along the way, but he's done now. But he's doing good. And then my son Maddox, and then my daughter Kendall just graduated from University of Western Ontario.
Very cool. So you grew up in Windsor, Ontario, correct?
Yeah, I grew up in Windsor. Then I'm sure we're going to get to it, but then always came back this summer. A lot of guys, buy houses where they play and stuff. And my ex Denise and I were close to living in Colorado. It was so beautiful. Denver was a beautiful city. I love it. But we came home, and then fortunate enough, we bought our junior team, which was one of the best things I did in my life, the Windsor Spitfires. That went well. So always Windsor's a really good place across from Detroit. And for people that don't know, it's so close to Detroit. It's almost like an Americanized city. You have the 4 sports teams, you have the water, international airport, great restaurants, great downtown now. They really cleaned it up. But it's a really good place, and the weather's excellent. It's really, you can get to anywhere quick in North America, and Windsor, Ontario is a hell of a place.
It's been a hotbed for NHL players too, right? Adam Gray.
It's been pretty good, and per population, there's a lot of toughness has come out of Windsor, but now, you look back, it was Bob Probert, Bob Bugner, Ty Domi, Stoyanov. There's a whole bunch of guys, but now you got the Aaron Ekblads. Eddie Jowanowski was
that's right.
Eddie Jowanowski, I saw him the other day. Looks great.
Good. And so you talk about buying the junior team. You and Bob Bugner together, right? Bought the team.
Yeah, and another friend of ours, Peter Dobrich, he bought the team, and this was just after the Hunters had done it in London, and we kind of said, "Well, look what they're doing," And I was scouting for Phoenix at the time, which Wayne was involved in, and I said, "Let's try to do this thing," and then we ended up doing it and turned it around. Got a new arena. We had so many players playing the NHL over the years. We owned it for 13 years, and
oh wow, I didn't know that. Wow. 3
Memorial Cups, and no one's been able to do that. And it's been good. We put Windsor back on the map in a hard time when there was unemployment, and a lot of good kids came through the city. And we treated the kids like they were, pros, and we did the right thing. We went ahead, day before on the bus to the hotels and good meals and everything they needed to succeed. So it was pretty good. That was pretty cool.
Good. And then sold it, made a profit on it too, right? You don't need to tell me details, but
yeah, you know what? I mean, it's funny because nobody now you have parents, rich guys that are buying teams so their kids can play or be a part of it. Like Halifax just went for $27 million. Bobby Smith's team, wow. I don't quote me. I think that's the price, but you're talking crazy numbers,
Yeah. Yeah, because now, like you said, like these places like Red Deer and London, all those big rinks they've got there, like 10,000 people bringing in those games and making tons of fun.
Yeah, like we were 6,800 sold out, but we had suites and everything like that. 3 of the rinks, NHL size rink. Like our rink was better than say the rink that Phoenix plays in right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Arizona college rink.
Right.
But yeah, London, Kitchener. There's good franchises. There's good people running them, and it's a great league, right?
And people that don't know too, the expenses aren't that high. I mean, comparatively speaking, right? The players don't make that much money. You still have the travel expenses and all that, but
yeah, it's still pretty good though. I mean, now it's changed. I mean, you get a year of school for 1 game played. So if you're American, $15,000 a year, you play 4 years, 60 plus interest. Plus you get $600 a month, plus insurance, plus workout. It's totally different now.
Yeah.
Well, that's to your point, that's the biggest expense.
Right, definitely. All right, so look back up. You grew up in Windsor. What junior team did you play on? Red in Windsor?
Sudbury.
Okay.
Sudbury, yeah.
Okay. And then what round were you? We drafted or you were free agent?
I was out of junior C. There was no really AAA where my area was.
Right.
There was some in Windsor, but I was in Tecumseh. So I played junior C and drafted and made the team, 13th rounder. Wow. And it was pretty wild back then, junior hockey, as you know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a lot of freedom.
Found a way and kept working, and I had strong summers. I trained in with the American kids actually in Detroit, the Coffee Ware kids and their summer league, and got better, really worked at it. And I didn't get drafted. And then Brian Kilroy is my coach. I got traded to Ottawa, and he says, you got to get to Chicago's camp. So he sent me to Chicago. I guess his buddies with Balt Fulford, and that was number 74. I remember it. Remember the old training camps? There's guys all over the place.
Oh yeah.
The older guys didn't talk to you, and it was wild.
Yeah.
And ended up signing a contract played well and signed a contract my third day there. So that was kind of my start.
Good. Yeah, going to training camp the first time is kind of intimidating too, right? You see all the old guys you've watched on TV. Like you said, they've already made the team, so they're hanging around with the young kids. And it was funny. I think still then, right? Weren't the old guys out of shape still coming back?
Oh yeah, I remember like Tom Laidlaw. Remember there's he's a little bit older than me, maybe.
Yeah,
he, Denny Savard, Steve Larmer, they come in and they just say, Grinder, the trainer, give me the skates now. Like they bring brand new ones. Remember the old shitty skates? How long it'll take to break in? Take you 2 weeks for God's sake. Yeah. Anyways, the point being, these guys just came. I remember they were smoking in the dressing room. Yeah. We had skated all summer to get there. Yeah, it was a whole different ball of wax for sure.
And right, you had to be kind of careful around the old guys too. Like you wanted to play hard and play physical, but same time, like you can't really go hit Tom Laidlaw. He's not in shape yet.
Well, I know. So you're trying to hit all the other junior guys. All of a sudden, you hit Ben Wilson. Like it goes cuckoo. Like, yeah, slashes. Kids don't understand. It was like one jam stands, one scout. The referees couldn't even skate. And it was like wild. It was crazy out there.
There's really no point to play. They should have brought a puck out, right? It was just like,
oh, I know. Like this guy. Yeah, like what's the score? Who cares?
Yeah, but under unwritten rules, like the new guys don't touch Dennis Savard or.
You're just looking at him, like Tom said. All of a sudden, you're looking at him like, wow, man, this guy was sick in the playoffs last year, and I'm gonna play against him.
Yeah.
So you're trying to, if you're trying to finish your checks, but you got to watch it really. But then if you do, they just turn around and slash you.
I know. I told a story when my first training camp, Phil Esposito was still playing, and he was terrible shape, like third or fourth day, and we're scrimmaging. And I'm thinking, okay, I got hit. That's what I do. So Phil comes through the middle of the ice with his head down, and I just smoked him. And the place went dead quiet. And I was like, oh, what the hell did I do? But he came to me later, and he was still hot. He says, okay, I respect the fact that you want to make the team, but don't do it again. He says,
I know. It's great. And I see him. He's one of the guys, like he's on Tampa Bay radio. So I work for the Oilers now, and I'm in Tampa quite a bit watching the games, and we always talk in intermission, and he's still going. And he's pretty funny on the radio. Yeah. He just tells it like it is. And it's live, so he's got to watch himself.
Yeah. We had him on the show. He must have dropped 200 F-bombs. He asked me before the show started. Yeah, he said before the show, can I swear? I said, well, Phil, you had a couple F-bombs.
Yeah, but he's a legend. He can swear all he wants.
Yeah.
Well, there's something old Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario guy. You always remember he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a good person. Yeah, definitely. Hey, so you go to Chicago, you sign your contract, you're kind of up and down. You got up in the NHL a little bit with Chicago.
Yeah, I was there for a couple of years, but Chicago had really good teams, and then Mike Keenan came in, and Daryl Sutter went to Saginaw. So we were in Saginaw. The next year, Indianapolis, we won a championship, had a great team. The likes of Brian Noonan, Bob Bass, and Mike Eagles. Dominic Hasek was on the team. Cam Russell, Ryan McGill.
Oh, wow.
Real good. Jim Playfair was our captain. He was a coach, too. The late Jimmy Johansson was there. We had an unbelievable team. And I think 14 guys went on to play in the NHL from that team. It was just remarkable. But Darren Pang was also down there. But, it was good. The development in Chicago for me was everything. And, Daryl Sutter, probably him and Barry Morrow's the biggest influence in my career.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah. And I learned a lot, but it was tough. The IHL was a tough league for guys that don't know. I was going in there. I was a rookie, and there's, Will Paymont. He was loose, and there's guys with no helmets on. Like, it's like, what is going on? But, it's pretty, it was good, obviously, but it was hard, but it was good.
And Melrose was there in LA when you got there, correct?
Yeah, so that summer, I think that was part of it, Tommy. He come from the Western League, came from Medicine Hat, and he had just, they had just won the Memorial Cup. They beat Windsor in the final, actually, in 1988. And then he came in with an open mind, I think.
Yeah.
And, he saw me play before, and I think just made the spot. And he was good. He gave me a lot of rope, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the timing was good too because they had Jay Miller there, and I think he was retired. I think at that point, so there was a spot there for somebody like you to come in and take that, and you did.
Yeah.
So remember MTV. So you went from being in the minors to, I think it was that year. So that year you went to the finals. I remember you were on the power play with Wayne, and you feathered a pass across from the corner. I'll never forget this, to Wayne Gretzky to score. Is that correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, kind of. I remember. I trust me. I remember all those big ones. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to the people. Like all year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was fired up. I'm thinking, all right, last year he's playing in the minors. Now he's on the power play with Wayne Gretzky playing in Los Angeles in the finals.
Yeah. Do you pinch more? Do you pinch yourself? Do you say, I just set up Wayne Gretzky for a goal? Like, do you say,
what role was? Yeah, of course. But you're on the task. But yeah, you will go home and then you go, wow, that was a pretty good play. But yeah, it was against Vancouver. I think it was second round, and everything was unbelievable for us. There, we were rolling. Our team was rolling. Kelly Rudy was hot. You remember?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's disappointment in the end with the illegal stick and the way the series turned. That's for sure.
So people maybe don't remember. So the Kings played Montreal in the finals, and Martin McSorley had really been a big part of the team too. He's really turned himself into a real good player. We're using an illegal stick. There's too big of a curve, which a lot of guys do, and most teams don't. Like, Buddy, correct me if I'm wrong here. They're in Montreal. So the trainer from
those clubbies are presumption wagons, though.
Yeah. So he goes in when nobody's around and measures Marty's stick and say, "Hey, it's."
But you guys knew. Well, you know that though, right? To switch the sticks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's not a rule, so people are kind of probably wondering, like, what are you talking? There used to be a half-inch curve you could have, but now there's no rule. You can have a ball hockey stick or a banana stick, whatever you want. But the funny thing there, guys, is it was 2-1. Conacher and Taylor scored, and there was I think 1:03 left. And then we had there was back in the day there was so much time between whistles. People talked. Now you hurry up, face off. It's different. And then we saw them talking, and then they're going to measure a stick. But if you looked at our team, you would take Luke Robitaille first, short stick, right? Yeah. It was a banana. And would take probably Alan Zhitnik's stick because he had a Russian banana. Yeah. And Marty would maybe be 4 or 5 Thomas Sandstrom, great players. Like, you would even think about Marty's stick.
Right.
Then I remember he grabbed a stick, and then Wayne goes to him. He goes, "Is it illegal?" And Marty goes, "I don't know." And Wayne just shook his head like, "Come on, man."
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but then we still thought we'd kill it. I'm not saying that lose the series, and I don't want to, I told Marty to his face, but it really did turn. I mean, it would have been 2-1, 2-0 LA going back home. They're pretty good. And that's, believe it or not, fellas, that's the last time that Canadian team, 30 years, won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you believe it? It's nuts.
It's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I remember that because that was a big moment. Like, especially when I imagine how Marty felt. Like, he's close with Wayne anyways, but when Wayne comes to you and you've done something like that, and like, oh my God. And that was a veteran team. Larry Robinson was still there, wasn't he? Was he still?
No, he wasn't there. No, it was Perpich and Cap Raider.
We had several of the Kings from that team on, and they said, yeah, it took the wind out of sails, but they got back and they figured they had a chance to win it. It's just,
it definitely, I agree with you. It wasn't that, but then we had John LeClaire scored 2 goals. They were almost identical games.
Yeah. Yep.
Games 3 and 4, and some bad breaks along the way, but it just the way it went.
Yeah. So I can't remember. How did you get? So after LA, you ended up in Colorado, correct?
Went to Toronto first.
That's right. Yes.
Weren't you his agent at the time?
It's a long time ago.
Wow. Yeah, Toronto. Yeah, you were. And then I think it was a 3-way trade, but I played remember the Locko year? It was 94, 95. Yeah. Wait, 92, 93. Yeah, 94, 95. There was a half season. So I played there, and then went to Colorado the day before the next season. On the day before, got traded the day before it was outstanding. Colorado was great. It was the first time the team was there. I remember first game, played Detroit. The trainer forgot to get the white helmets, so we had black helmets.
Oh, that's right.
It's still on some of the pictures, but
yep.
And that was the first, we won the cup that year, and that was the first championship ever in Denver. There was no Nuggets had not won, and the Broncos had not won yet, so it was amazing.
So back in the still this way, if you play, you can't touch the cup until you have won it. So
you've never touched the cup.
I never touched the cup until that night. Well, the next morning, because it was a late, you went to overtime too, right? You recruits.
Yeah, it was like 3 overtimes in recruits in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're partying in there, and I wanted to get in the locker room with Bundy, get my picture taken with the cup, the three of us. And so it wasn't like 3 or 4 in the morning. It was a blast out too. The guys are out. Just to make me rear out that, because I never won it. I went to semifinals twice, as close as I got. So to be Bundy being my client, one of the first clients I ever had, have him go from the minors to now all of a sudden sitting in the trophy there at 3 in the morning, drinking out of the cup, man. That was pretty cool.
You know what? Do you remember, like, my dad was talking about it. My dad's still going. He's 85. Well, went over there brought some Chinese food over there the other day. And we started talking about this. He goes, "Do you remember there was a half inch of beer and champagne on the floor?" I remember how classy. Here's the thing that people don't know. Like, they see it on TV, but you can't. TV doesn't do it justice. Pierre Lacroix was such a classy man.
Yeah.
He flew all the wives and parents in the day before to Miami, wherever they were. When we got up 3-0, I think it was on a Monday night. By Wednesday, everyone's significant other or wives or parents were in Miami. Like, either it was Europe, like, it was crazy. We sat in that room. Do you remember, Tom? We sat in that room. It was 150 freaking degrees, and it was unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
and all the Rats and everything. They were a good team too. We just had so much gas, right? Like, it was crazy. That was never forget that. And then we flew to all the way back to Denver on a charter. The mayor came and Mike Keane, one of the greatest men in hockey, wore his equipment on the plane home. So why? He just wanted to do it. He kept it. We kept drinking the whole way, and we got there. It was dawn. It was weird because it was such a long flight, and then we just kept it going. It was great.
I was so happy for you, but I was kind of like, I hadn't experienced it before, so I really didn't know what I was missing. I kind of, I've been retired for a while, so I was like, oh, well, they didn't win the cup, no big deal. But then when you're with somebody that has won it and you were a player, you're like, oh, God, I wish I could have experienced that, right? Because that's a good time.
It's pretty good. And for me at the time, like, it wasn't just I won it when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
I was 28 and went through a long, hard road to get there. You were with me all the way, and
it was a good journey.
It was pretty cool. Then everyone gets it for a day in the summer.
Yeah.
And I got a good story. So Joel Quenneville's in Hartford. So the guy in the office works it over. Okay, it's going to go to Windsor, Ontario. Then it's going to go to Toronto. Then it's go east to Hartford. Then New York City, whatever. The guy works it out, right? So Joel Quenneville's from Windsor, played for the Spitfires. There's another Windsor player. He's my assistant coach at the time.
That's right.
So it was Mark Crawford and Joel Quenneville, right?
Yeah.
And then so the cup comes from me to Mike Keane's house from Winnipeg. He gets there in the morning, and the guy cup, he goes, "Hey, do you have a bed? I need to lay down." So the guy slept for 10 hours. So I had the cup, went to the golf course, a big party at nighttime, hockey school, all that. And I played a joke. So we drank till 6 in the morning. And then the guy comes with the cup. He guards the cup. He was supposed to go to Detroit to Hartford, Joe Quenneville. So I called him. I go, "Q, bad news, man. I got some bad news for you." The guy got all fucked up. He missed the flight. He goes, "You prick, Bundy, you started going off on me because he had like 500 people at the country club to celebrate." I said, "I'm just kidding, man."
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was good. And when people, like, when it comes in a room, it's like, you look at the NBA trophy and the, what do you call it, the Lombardi trophy, like, they're nothing compared to this. Like, what is it, Tom? What is it, ladies? Like, it's like a personality of its own.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And then you see the guy's names on it that you go to, like you said earlier, you see this guy on TV. Now all of a sudden you're playing with him. The names, it's crazy.
Yeah, just like you see it on TV, like the guys that you've seen win the cup, right? You go back to the 60s, all those teams. And then you're actually right there with the cup. And at that time, when Bundy had won it with Colorado, to be part of it, it's one thing to be near the cup, but then to be near somebody and they'd actually just won the cup, man, that was cool.
Oh, it's nuts. And then, your dad's favorite players are on, Stan McKeed is on there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Well, from Toronto, how, like the history, the original six and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nasty. It's the greatest thing in the world.
So let's back up to Toronto really quick. So Bundy, in case you haven't noticed, he's got quite a personality.
Yes.
So when he meets people, they're drawn to Bundy. And we had a favorite spot that we'd go to. I'd come to visit in Toronto. What was the name of that place?
It was called For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, you're talking about Canadian Ballet.
Oh, it was Canadian Ballet. All right.
It was like for people out there, like it's a classy place. Like I'm not hiding anything. Everyone knew guys went there, and my wife and I went. Whatever. It was perfect. But you had to wear a suit jacket, right? It's not a slimy near place, or it's real. You can get a steak in there. It's pretty good.
That's one thing in Canada. I don't know if people realize strip joints are part of the culture in Canada. Sure, as well. Like you can almost find them without even knowing where they are. Like there's all these strip malls, and they've got got stuff. But this one was really nice. Yeah.
So you guys had some friends there? Is that what you said?
Sure. Bundy, he drew a crowd.
Yeah, it was good. Remember how big the doorman was?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw him like 12 years later, and I heard Bundy. I'm looking, and it was him, but he lost like 200 pounds. He was like 400 pounds. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, it was always good there. Tommy wouldn't even go. Hey, Lades wouldn't even go visit his other clients. He'd just come and tell us. No, I'm not going. I'm not going to Philadelphia. I'm going to Toronto.
Business meeting. Sorry, Boucher.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm thinking. So, okay, I got a choice to go see Bundy in Toronto and hang out for your eyes only after the game, where I go to Philly and what am I going to do in Philly?
I know.
Yeah, well, that was good.
That
was we talk about the stuff, but and we've talked about this before. Like the culture was so different back then. The boys were out drinking beers all the time. Like Bundy talked. That was part of it. Again, you won the cup. You didn't want to sleep. You stayed up forever, drank beer.
Yeah.
I don't think that's changed though. I mean, a lot of things have, but that hasn't changed.
Yeah. Well, you know what, fellas? Let's face it. The biggest thing is social media and these phones, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like we used to sit there. Locals would come over. Hey, what do you think of, what about the power play last night? Yeah, we're working on it. But people, you would interact, especially think about your after practice every day when you were at the Rangers. You told me you used to go do that. So did we. Like, okay, everyone go to Jilly's bar around the corner. Boom, we're there.
Right.
And it was a good camaraderie. No one really bugged you. Yeah, once in a while someone come over, but it was part of the culture. It wasn't like outrageous to see 15 guys eating chicken wings and beer after practice. Like,
and the culture was, okay, guys, we're all together. We go to practice tomorrow or game or whatever it is. Listen, there's no, like, you're playing guilty. There's no pulling the chute here.
So you're right. And then if you did, someone, that was.
Yeah, you really lose the teammate kind of stuff if you do that as a player. Like,
it's hard now if say high-end team like, a Toronto, Edmonton, or, call it a Colorado, they go out and they lose. Oh, no wonder they lost. They had 2 beers. Like, come on, man. Like, no.
Yeah, but now they're all in the hotel playing Xbox now.
Yeah. Protein shakes.
I know. All right, so you win the cup in Colorado. How many years did you stay there?
I was there for... what happened? I was one then. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember Chris Simon got traded for Keith Jones?
Yeah.
And then I was by myself, and then you were trying to grind out $50,000 from Pierre Lacroix, remember?
That's right. Yes.
At the end of the year, I go, fuck, I just won the Stanley Cup. Come on, give me a cookie. And Chris Simon left, which for people, if you have a big guy on the team, that means I kind of take the smaller guys, which is fine by me. Yeah. So then Anaheim called. And remember, 3-year deal. Same thing in the backyard. I go, this is great. And Pierre wasn't happy about it.
That's right. I remember that.
And anyways, I went back. He traded back for me in the second year. We went to the finals. We went to the Western Finals again. But yeah, Anaheim was great. It had Ron Wilson, good bunch of guys. It was a little bit after the expansion and just beautiful living in California. At the time, I don't know if it's beautiful living there now, but at the time, it was really good. Lived in Anaheim Hills, and my son was young, and we really enjoyed that. It was good people there. Who was it? Jack Ferreira.
That's right, Jack.
What a nice man. I still see him in the rinks. And Nick Beverly did my first contract. Every time I go see him, I hug him.
Yeah, those good guys. Good old guys.
Yeah, and these guys still work and go to games. I'm like, wow, I'm not working as long as you guys, but I still go. I just give them a hug and I say thanks. Yeah. But people don't do that no more, right? Like it's really thankful, right? That you want to be thankful for the people.
Yeah. Nobody's hugging Laidlaw.
Yeah. And then Anaheim was good. We made the playoffs twice, and you know, I played with Korea, Solani,
That's right.
and all the guys. You know, I played with Gretzky, Curry, and Gilmore, Sundin. I've always had
Sakic, Forsberg,
Patty Roy. I've always played with outstanding players, and I think that helped me right now. Like with a junior team, of course, building a team, because you know you want to know how to build a team. And now with my role with Edmonton, I think it really helps that I play with the best players and see how they acted and see what teams really need. It's been a big help.
Well, I think for you, Bundy, too, and I do say this a lot, but you didn't make it for your skill. It was you knowing the game, knowing your role, knowing what you had to do. And I think that probably helped you in your career as running a team, too. Like it was sometimes it's harder for a guy like Wayne Gretzky, for example, because he's such a talented player. He doesn't it's not that he doesn't know the game as well, but he can get by on his skill more. So it's
he knows the game pretty well, though.
Yeah, he does. But he sees it from a different lens, though, right?
Sees it from a different lens. Like I remember when he went to coach, like, you know, I got hired, me and Shane Shirley, one of the toughest. There's another guy where I could never, he's so tough. And he's one of the great people in the game too. And we got hired the same day, and he goes, come on in. So I walked in the Morton Steakhouse in Phoenix. I happy to get a job. But first guy I see is Shane Shirley. Like I go, whoa. So we started working together. By 10 minutes later, we're having a beer. And it was this.
Your buddies, yeah.
We were working and Wayne was coaching, right? And he said, why couldn't so-and-so make a play? I go, he's no good, Wayne. Like he doesn't have that tool in his bag, you know? Right. Like for him, he would see it as an easy play, like all these guys. Paul Coffey, why did he just skate it out of the end zone? Because he can't. Because he can't, guys. That's,
Yeah. See, that's the difference, right?
That's the difference. And you're meeting still, and probably these guys go, I can't believe he didn't give me that 20-foot pass. I was wide open for a second there, because he can't. He's good. If he's able to, he'll make it. That's how good the NHL is now, right?
Remember Shane Shirley first came out? I think was he in Hartford first, and then he ended up in Calgary. Oh, he was a nutcase too, and he knew what he was doing. Tough, crazy.
He's tough. I think I fought him a couple times, and he's so big and strong. We had some good fights, but I think I fought him one time 2 seconds into the game. So do you remember in LA, Barry used to start every game?
Yeah.
Me, Conacher, and Taylor, home or away, just get the momentum, get it in. Right. Like we're the third line, whatever. Right. And Wayne finally said in game 60, hey, you mind if I start a game? Anyways, but we played it. He just said, you want to get this over with right now? I go, amen, let's go. Like it was 1 second. It was stupid. But still, you just got it over with. But he was great. And I got a story for you real quick. I tell you what Shane threw. So he told me the story, one of the greatest. So Cliff Fletcher's the GM, the time you're talking about.
Yeah.
So Shane's brother, and I think his father came in when they went out. He just got called up. They went to this bar. What's it called? Legendary bar. Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Legendary bar.
Yeah.
So they get in there having a beers. All of a sudden, a couple bouncers didn't like him, his brother. So they get in a fight. They get their ass kicked. His dad was there too. So then, remember the legendary trainer?
Yeah.
From Calgary.
Yeah. With the mustache and everything.
So Shane comes in. He's got in the morning. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble. I can't believe it. My career's in the shitter. I'm going to get sent down again. I'm never going to get a chance to play. So he's sitting there, and the trainer comes up to him. Hey, Cliff wants to see you upstairs. And he's going, oh, God. So he's up there. He's just scared. It feels like the double principal's office. Like he's going upstairs. He's going, oh, my God, I'm going down. This is embarrassing. Like, oh, my God. So Cliff shut the door, sit down. Okay. So, and he's sitting there, and he goes, so tell me what the hell happened last night. He goes, Cliff, we really didn't do nothing. This monster pushed my brother down the stairs. I fought 3 guys. I got beat up. And then my dad got pushed, and he's going, is that right, eh? And all of a sudden there was silence. Cliff goes, well, you make sure you take the boys back there and take care of business.
Oh, is that? Wow.
Get out of the office. Hey, so it wasn't like you're an idiot. You blew your chance. Go down to the minors. That's Cliff Fletcher. He was like him in Toronto. Yeah. That's what kind of man Cliff Fletcher was.
In one way surprising, but that's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So it was like he took care of
business. No cameras back in the day, right? No phones, boys. It was different. But yeah, he's a great guy. And Wayne Wayne's brother Keith. We all started the same day in 2001 for Phoenix. So that kind of got my background in scouting. So
was Mike Barnett GM at that time?
Mike Barnett was GM, yeah, and Wayne was coach. And
people that don't know Mike Barnett, he was Wayne Gretzky's agent, and I worked with him at IMG. Great guy, man, but he was a pitbull, tiny little guy. I never forget. I was going through a divorce, my first divorce, and we were up at the Memorial Cup, I think, in Kamloops, and we're going to this little trinket store. And Mike talks me into buying like $200 worth of trinkets for my wife that I'm just divorcing. I walked out of the place. Like, he was just doing it for the fun of it. Like, yeah, keep talking into it. I walked out and go, you son of a, what, how did you make me do that? He just died laughing.
Sounds like a good agent.
Yeah, no, totally. He was good. No, he was one of the best. He would not quit.
And now he worked for the Rangers and Chris Drury.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. And he was funny because Marty was a coach in Springfield.
Oh.
So all of a sudden he'd call me, go, Bundy, go get down to Springfield, check on Marty. I go, what do you want me to say to him? Like, he's coaching, does this. Remember Pat Conacher was in the organization too, and we kind of laughed. Like, Marty was coaching.
Right.
And, probably a good coach and trying to get through to kids. But he had the guys at the rink for like 3.5, 4 hours a day, and guys are like tired. But it was good. We had a whole bunch of characters, that's for sure. But I learned my trait. Mike was excellent to me. Cliff Fletcher was there also as a senior advisor. And the guy that really is Dave Draper. Dave Draper taught Keith Gretzky how to build a team, and he was, he built the Stanley Cup team in Boston. Shane Sherla, he taught all these guys. He taught us everything. Yeah. And scouting's for people out there. Scouting's not easy.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. Whoever said they're a good scout and this and that, as many guys as they pick, they miss the same. They miss the same ones.
Do you have any good like picks that stand out that you made and you said to the GM, hey, get this guy?
Well, I was doing pro, so there's two different kinds of scouts for the listeners. There's pro and amateur. So amateur scouts go to OHL, Western League, Quebec League, prep hockey, USHL, NCAA. But pros do the guys that already turned pros. But there was a good story. So we're sitting in the room. Dave Draper goes, Bundy, you're going to Quebec League for a week. I'm like, okay. So I just got done playing, right? You get there, you got to rent a car, you got a suitcase, it's snowing out. In LA, in Colorado, you just get off the plane, the bus is there, you get $100 a day meal money, and away you go to the bar and have a couple beers and a steak, right? I go, what am I doing? So I remember he sent me to Shawinigan. So I rent the car, I'm late, I'll get to the game, I'm tired, it's snowing out. You're in Canada, they weren't even standing up for the Canadian national anthem. Anyways, it was crazy. So I get back to the hotel, I sleep, phone rings, and he goes, hey, Rychel, how you doing? Dave. Hi, Dave, how's it going? He goes, how was the game last night? I go, Dave, none of these kids are going to play in the NHL, man. None of these kids. Oh. He goes, good, go back to the game because there's 3 first-rounders that played in the game last night. I'm like, right? Because that's how the thing is. That's how funny it is.
Yeah. But isn't that the truth, though? I mean, you can watch a player and not think he's going to be any good. Somebody else watches and thinks he's going to be good. That's the
right. And you might catch him on that's why these guys, amateur guys, are up over 200 games a year. You got to watch a guy twice, they're young. But in Windsor, we had some good players come through. Cam Fowler, Taylor Hall, Adam Henrique, Zach Cassian. I drafted all these guys. Probably the best bang for the buck was Ryan Ellis. I picked in the second.
Oh yeah, great player.
Well, he's got some problems for hockey fans out there. He's got some problems right now. He might be done. I'm not sure, but we have all these guys coming back. We're doing an ALS thing for Bob Jones at the Windsor Arena this Saturday.
Cool.
He's got ALS. He's a coach of the Ottawa Senators. But there's been some good guys that come in. Some late picks that, I picked a kid in 15th round, Salverio Poza. Now he's a coach at Flint. One of my other picks, a doctor now. So there's different things. There's feel-good stories in junior. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just to go back to, people don't realize, Bundy touched about have to rent a car and all that kind of stuff. When you're an NHL player, you get to be like 35 years old and you retire, whatever it is. You've never rented a car. You've never booked a hotel or a flight or whatever. Or maybe, usually those times too, it was a vacation during the summer, your wife would do it. So now all of a sudden, me as an agent, Bundy as a scout, you have to do this. And it seems weird, but at that age, you're like, how do you do this? I mean, you pick it up.
You're like a fresh baby out in the world now.
Yeah, and someone took a zero off your paycheck too.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of zeros. Yeah.
Ones, yeah.
And then now you're scouting with Edmonton, right?
yeah, I'm working with Edmonton on the pro side, and I think we're close. I think we're one of 6 teams that can win a Stanley Cup, in my personal opinion. And it's hard. It's all different now, Tommy. It's because everything is a price tag. You couldn't just load it up like 1996 Colorado against Detroit, low salary cap. Now every time you make a decision, it's all about money, and that's the biggest thing that I learned coming back in. Is the cap. It's hard. Why doesn't Team X, person's favorite team, go get this guy? Well, you can't fit in, right? You can't do it. So it's very.
They just hired Jeff Jackson as the president of the team.
Yeah, Jeff's a really good guy. He was an agent when I did several deals with him. A lot of Ranger fans. Will Cooley, who's an up and coming winger for them. He played in Windsor for me, and we traded for him. And Jeff Jackson was his agent. Very reputable. Him and Dave Gagne. They got. But you know what? For him to leave that, I don't want to say probably lucrative business. He's got. Well, Tommy, he's probably got 30 guys that are up around.
Connor McDavid was his client, right?
Yeah, up around. Yeah, Connor McDavid, Ekblad, up around $7-8 million a year. For him to come, the president of Edmonton Oilers is pretty good. But a real good man. I've had good dealings with him. I think he's the right hire. He's going to make a difference there. He's very thorough and a very good guy. I've known him for a long time.
The other guy I really admire a lot is Kenny Allen as the general manager. I thought he's done a fantastic year to go all the times he's in Detroit there. So
yeah, he's great and he's funny and he's in the Hall of Fame and he's awesome.
That's right.
He's pretty funny in the meetings. What I like about him, he challenges guys. He gets right after guys in the scouting meetings. It's good.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
but that's part. You need to battle for your guy, right?
Well, yeah, you can't just sit there. Okay, yeah. Right. This guy, no, but you got to battle it. Sometimes it gets heated in there, probably more in the amateur side because when a guy's pro, you already kind of know what you have, put him into your team.
Right.
But yeah, there's some battles. I was in the minor, I'm like, whoa, we're going to come close here.
Yeah.
Guys fighting for their guys. I want the guy in prep school in New York. I want the guy in the Western League. What's the difference? Now you can put up 20 hours of video and but still, it's the hardest thing in the world. Amateur scouting is the hardest thing in the world.
I was talking to David Boyle, who just retired from Nashville, and he had Paul Fenton in there, and I'd played with Paul Fenton. Paul Fenton's stubborn too, right? And very outspoken. And I said, "Isn't that a problem?" I felt like it asked it a good way. Isn't that a problem with Fenton that he's always trying to say he's running the team? He said, "No, I want people that are going to stand up and tell me what they think because they're no good to me as a scout here."
You're already yes man.
But you're a yes man all the time. You might as well just no credibility.
And Bundy always had that. And I may have got this wrong. When you're in Colorado, Claude, the president and the general manager, what was his name again?
Pierre Lacroix.
And he had a son. Right. He had a son on the team. Eric Lacroix.
Right. Greatest human being in the world.
Pierre what?
No, his son.
Oh, his son lit.
He was there under tough circumstances too. Yeah. He was one of the nicest guys. I got traded back there. He gave me a car and 3 suits. I was on the road. I didn't have anything. He was the greatest. He was a great guy.
But didn't you step up at a meeting one time? Weren't they complaining? There was a tough spell. They're complaining that the son was on the team. Am I saying that correctly? I thought.
Yeah, there was, without getting into too much detail, there was a bit of a shit show there for a while. We had lost 3, and there was some arguing and shit. And, you got heavy personalities there.
Yeah, right.
So the biggest personalities were Claude Lemieux and Patrick, and then Adam Foote too, right? Joe was a silent leader. Sakic was like the deadly assassin. He was quiet, but when he spoke, he spoke.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some. It always good happens to good teams. You got to go through adversity, and there was that went on.
That was actually kind of a good sign, right? When your team's playing bad, you don't want them to just take it. You want them to be mad. Right?
Yeah,
like for sure.
You also want you want the right amount of crazy too.
Yeah. It was good. It was there was a lot of good players in there. Forsberg, Sandus, Lozlanec, Yui Krupp.
That's right.
But it was good. It was good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Bundy, I mean this very seriously. And we've been very fortunate on the show. We get a lot of guys that I say it over and over.
Yes.
You did not make it to the National Hockey League based on your talent. It was your heart, courage, and everything. I mean, that is very good compliment.
And a pep talk from your agent too.
Pep talk, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll never forget that day because I was just getting started in the agent business. Oh God, I don't want to say this to this guy because if somebody said it to me, I wouldn't want to do that. But I said, Bundy, you're going to have to fight everybody. That's all I had to say. I didn't have to repeat it. And he went out and fought everybody.
Yeah, you know what? It's a different era, and you had to do what you had to do. And I just was sick of playing in the minors and starting a family. And yeah, it was hard. And I mean, that era was tough. A lot of the guys are doing so good, you know. And there's been a couple guys that have left us, and I feel very fortunate with a great family and, you know, a great job for a great organization now in Edmonton, and it's good. I'm 56. I'm healthy. I'm fortunate. You know what I mean? It takes a toll on your body for people like, you know, you're in great shape, Tommy, but those aches and pains you have, and you know what I mean? The broken hands, the knees, you know, the teeth, it wears on you. But, you know, now it's a more safer game now for the kids, which is good. And you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but it was crazy in the 90s, right? It was full speed, man.
Warren, if you had to do it all over again, would you do the same way?
You know, I don't think I could do it, to be honest with you. I don't want to get emotional here. I don't know. I was just, you know, maybe it's me looking back at my age, but I don't know. I
know you. You wouldn't.
Maybe in another way, I would, you know, you only can take yourself to a certain skill level, and you need intangibles to get over the top. So that obviously intangibles was the toughness, and I wasn't the toughest guy by any means, but yeah, I would. Now these kids are making themselves so good when they're in Bantam, and you know, they're getting scholarships when they're 14 and getting all that. But yeah, I would try to make myself a better player, but there's more resources now too.
Right. Yeah, and the game's changed so much for me too. If I was going to play today, I would have had to change my game. But I still think, Bunny, you and I are both the same. We wanted it so bad. We would have done what we had to do to make it. Even to
you got to make a difference. You can't stand around. You know, like I always told my son, to quit waiting around. Like, why wait till the second? Get in the game right away, right? But yeah, that's what you look for. I mean, you look for those guys, and a lot of teams are looking. You know, look at Vegas, and they eliminate us, and they got that heavy fourth line. It's a difference. I'm not necessarily fighting, but just taking up space and occupying, getting in on the forecheck, drawing penalties. Big, smart men are hard to play against in the NHL, and everyone needs that big D-man shot blocker. And fuck, Tommy, you'd be making 4 million these days. You'd be number 6.
I was thinking about that too. I probably would be in that 5 or 6 million.
Yeah, but you'd be in the box. So, but your day, you just flipped it over the glass because you had no play. Now you're in the box.
Is that true? You think of all the rules they got now that I was doing all the time, that I just, you know, shooting the box, hooking and holding and crossing.
No, you get shot comes from the point. The defense would just grab your stick.
Yeah.
Now they got 3 refs out there. I'm going to say 3, 2, but I got cameras.
We used to do stupid stuff like when we first started wearing masks, we'd put Vaseline on the outside of our gloves, and then we just rub the glove up against his shield, and then he couldn't see anymore. They couldn't get the Vaseline off, so he'd have to go change his helmet. So
the biggest thing is, like, I just go back to people, like, what was that Colorado Detroit stuff like? It goes crazy.
Yeah.
Like with the games, like, okay, now the games, junior, like there's a certain time between whistles, the linesmen skate past, hurry up, get your stick in, they drop it. Those games, like your Islander games and Ranger games, our Colorado games and Detroit games, they were 3:15, and they didn't stop. Now they cut alcohol off after 2 periods in all these buildings because of safety and all this stuff, whatever law regulations. They're never closed in Detroit. Hey, before overtimes, guys on their 70th beer, like, oh, I know that's rough. That shit, one shit at our butts, like,
it was wild, yeah. Good times. Well, Bundy, I mean this very seriously. You're a very motivating person as a player to do what you did, to be in the minors that long, and literally fight your way to the National Hockey League. Ultimately, playing with Wayne Gretzky, winning the Cup, going to the finals, all those things you did. So, very proud that I'm a part of your life and that you're doing well. Good to see you again.
Good to be on, buddy. And hit me up next year. I got a couple more stories.
Perfect. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
Mail me a gift card, would you? See you.
Yeah, McDonald's, $5.
Yeah, perfect. Get you guys later.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, Warren.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
On that day, we are rolling.
There's an app called Duolingo. You need to download it and sit it as your phone.
Perfect Italian.
No, it wasn't. So lately, Tom's been on this kick where he's trying to speak with accents, and that's the effort you get.
And here's the thing too. I'm like this with everything. I'm realizing more and more all the time. I actually think I'm really good. Like I think when I do the accent, oh man, that's perfect. I nailed it.
That's self-awareness.
Oh,
So, how about something in Scottish? Can you do something in Scottish?
or Laddies. No, that's not. No, or Scottish, bro. Scottish lad.
There it is.
How about that?
That was actually close.
Scottish lad.
That was pretty good.
There you go.
It was actually
But I think I get confused between Scottish and Irish. Is there?
similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. But Scottish is more like Sean Connery. You got to do
Oh, that's Sean Connery. He eats his Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. Roll those R's. Anyway, we had your client on who didn't fire you. What a great episode with Bundy. And I thought he was Bundy like Chris Terry in Philly is Bundy, but he's Bundy after Al Bundy. Oh, Warren's Bundy after King Kong Bundy, the wrestler, which is great.
One of my favorite clients, favorite people that I was involved in. Really, hopefully I helped him in his career, but he really helped me in my career as well. Like really, he was one of those guys. I mean, again, we'll hear on the show, but I just told him what he had to do, and he went and did it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And what he did to play in the NHL was
Yeah, they heard it on the show. And then you had your first Cup champion as a client, which was great.
yeah, that's right. And talking to him about him winning the cup the night they won the cup, and me reliving that with him. That was pretty cool. Like I was starting to get goosebumps a little bit. You know, like everybody knows, you can't touch the cup unless you playing, especially unless you win it.
As a player or if you're part of the league. But as fans, you go to Toronto and touch it in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But did you drink out of it?
Yes, we did.
You
Yeah,
did.
right. Yeah, I waited till 3 or 4 in the morning because it got into overtime.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They didn't let anybody in the locker room until the team was kind of together for at least an hour.
Then they brought friends and family in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good move.
And remember, it was so hot. I had the suit on and everything. And we were in Miami, and it's 3 or 4 in the morning. The guys were all sweaty in the room and a little bit. So it was, but I didn't care. It was one of those days, nights, just like I couldn't wait to get in there.
Sure.
That's the trophy.
Were you following them around in the Cup or just go to the game 4?
I went to game 4. We were up 3. They were up 3. So we assumed that they were going to win. And yeah, that was a cool night. It's a cool night for me too, selfishly, kind of, because this is my first client that won a Stanley Cup.
Right.
So, and again, the way it happened with him fighting, like it wasn't like he was a star player. He had to literally fight his way to the national league to play at that ultimately win the cup. And some great moments for him. You know, and again, it really made me look, springboarded me in my career because
Legitimate. You were more legitimate then.
Yeah, because here's this guy who was banging around in the minors, and all of a sudden I get him as an agent.
And then you got a contract, you got him on a cup-winning team, you had a part of a great run.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's got to make you feel good. And you know, I asked him if we've asked a lot of these guys, like, if you could do it all over again, would you change anything? And they, almost to a man, they say no. Yeah. But he's the first one who said, yeah, he would probably change.
I was a little bit surprised, because beating his body took, because he talks about it too. He was tough, but he wasn't as big as Martin McSorley, Bob Probert. But he was fighting those guys too, and he knew he had to do it. And he continued to do it throughout his career too. Sometimes guys would get in the NHL as fighters, kind of back away from the fighting role.
Of course.
But he
600 PIMs his first 2 seasons with that's crazy.
They were cheap tripping penalties. Either they were all fights.
Yep. But what a great episode. He seems like he's in a really good place, and a good friend of yours. Had a lot of good things to say about you. And
it's good.
Yeah, awesome episode.
Yeah. Great show. Great show, my laddies.
Oh boy.
All right, Grasshoppers, thank you for listening. We had a fantastic show. We'll see you next time.
Schwab Trading is now powered by Ameritrade to give you a new, elevated trading experience tailor-made for trader minds. Go deeper with Thinkorswim, the powerful, award-winning trading platforms now at Schwab. Unlock support from the Trade Desk, our team of passionate traders who live and breathe trading like you do. And sharpen your skills with an expanding library of online education crafted just for traders. All designed to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.